Hey.
Hi.
Hi. Part 2.
Part 2.
Here we go. What are we talking about?
The WEFS series that we've started, right? But more specifically about their global presence around the world, right? Where are they? What are they? What are they doing in different parts of the world, and how are they servicing customers all around the globe?
Right. In the first part, we talked more like the future of composites, kind of where it's headed. And not to say we didn't kind of talk long term, but I think this episode, is a lot more on their global presence and getting to hear a little bit some of the projects and places around the world that they work. It's pretty cool.
And you might say the future of this episode is looking bright.
Oh, it's looking very bright, I'd say. Let's watch.
Well, here we are again.
Here we are. We're back with the WEFS group once again. Welcome, welcome.
Randy and Chris, except
new Chris.
New Chris.
Different Chris.
Now with new Chris.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, for the infomercial.
Oh my gosh. But Chris, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Chris Rossman. I'm our Global Vice President of Service Sales and Field Engineering.
Right.
So I get the privilege of not only working with the WEFS group, but all of the Fiber Glass Systems field service teams that we have throughout the globe.
Right. And not your first time in the studio.
It's not.
That's
it's
right.
Not. You all might have remembered a video from not too long ago about our service capabilities. Yeah.
That's right.
All right.
And Randy, do you mind a refresher course for those who maybe haven't seen episode 1 of the series?
Sure. Randy Cable. I'm our Global Vice President for Water, Environmental, and Flow Solutions.
All right. Thank you for joining. Thank you.
Yeah,
Glad
thanks,
to be
guys.
here.
So I know last time we talked a little bit about kind of the future of composites, the lifespan of how these products and some of the relationship with the customers. So just kicking off, I was wondering, could you tell us, well, maybe a summary, a little bit about WEFS, but also the global presence. What is the global presence like for WEFS?
Sure. So I'll take a first crack at the answer here for us. So we started with our North American really centric team, and we built our regional management team to support the sort of the things that we talked about in the Futurist Composite episode. Right. But in January this year, I assumed responsibility for our Pipex water team, basically that's in the UK, and then our FIBRA water team in South America, in Chile, in Santiago. And for me, it's been completely different. I mean, we have our products and our solutions here in the U.S. It's a little different approach with what we do in the U.K. Yeah. They're thermoplastics, basically. And really the uniqueness of our product offering there lies around we do the CSO chambers. We do what we call an off-site build, which minimizes the excavation, the amount of time, especially in high traffic areas. But our products are fully encased. They're in rebar. So, and when we send them to site, they basically go straight in. They pour the concrete around it. So it's really a turnkey solution that's delivered. A little different than what we've done in Chile. That business has traditionally relied on our rotomolding business for tanks and things of that nature. And we really challenged the group to really move to our core business, which is our FRP, our composites, things of that nature. And so for me personally, I'm really proud to share with everyone that we've just gotten our first order for 4 tanks for our first water application.
Congratulations.
And so really proud of the team there.
That's right.
Yep. They're in production now, so we're really excited about that. A number of great water pipe conveyance opportunities now. Just spent some time in Peru. I've visited our plant in Betim in Brazil to see our manufacturing capabilities and how things are done. And we're really looking at some packaged wastewater treatment plants, which are a little bit different than what we're doing in other parts of the globe. So it's fairly unique. All 3 segments, all 3 areas and geographies are a little bit different, but the municipalities and the customer is the same. So that's the common theme here.
Right.
But really, it's fun to manage and to work with all 3 independent groups. It's a lot of fun.
It sounds like it. Even just going to the facilities. I mean, if y'all need anybody to do a live show, I'm happy
From Peru.
From Peru, I'm happy to go.
Careful what you wish for.
Chris, do you have any projects you could tell us about?
Yeah, we just finished up a pretty amazing project. So we have a location in Plymouth in the UK.
Right.
And they do, Fiber Glass Systems can also be looked at from a non-metallic standpoint too. So it's not just fiberglass or GRE products. We work with a lot of really interesting other products. So the project that I'm thinking of was a biotechnology company, which makes Randy's and I's jobs very interesting because, you know, at one point it could be a biotech company or wastewater. It's really contingent on that. So this was a biotechnology company that's focusing on vaccine development and then creating vaccines. So there's literally 5 lanes going throughout this facility. Process waste, bio waste, segregated waste. And then we provided 2-inch to 10-inch PPH lines, polypropylene lines, in order to do that. There's custom-made valve chambers and pump chambers that we also use to do that. So, you know, a lot of people, when they're thinking of like the pharmaceutical industry or biopharm or whatever, they think of these like lab environments and everything. There's a lot of dirty stuff that's got to move around too underneath the concrete. So that was a fun project for us. I mean, we had teams all over the place, and our capabilities from a manufacturing standpoint in Plymouth are world renowned. It's unbelievable what we're able to do for that.
Once again, like we talked about this in the last episode, but not places I think I would assume NOV is in, but that's so interesting to hear. Like, we're biotech. And
well, we have another project that's upcoming that we're very close to signing, and Chris's team and group will be very instrumental in that. But it's another turnkey solution where we're going to do not only provide the products but installation. Another interesting product, just while we're talking, that comes to mind is, you know, sludge conveyance, and we're working with a very large UK utility that's going over a very famous river. And so they're going to use our ChemSafe dual contained pipe to move the sludge over the river for further treatment. And obviously they can't have any leakage or something like that.
No, you don't want leakage of the sludge.
No. So it's
please no sludge leaking.
No, sludge is bad. No. But you know, when we think about the things that we do together, it's very innovative. But it's not something that the average company is going to be able to provide a solution for. But these are just a couple of examples how our groups work closely together.
That's great.
I'm curious. So you have all of these projects, I mean, all over. What's the, I guess, competitive advantage that we provide our customers? How do we help them to win?
Yeah, I mean, I think from my standpoint, we have collaboration that a lot of companies aren't able to offer. Our engineering teams are robust. The software that they use is cutting edge. You know, managing projects. Our manufacturing capabilities are at that same level. So when you start to add the manufacturing capabilities, the engineering resources that we have, and then you throw in the service and aftermarket piece that we have also as well. So of course I'm going to bring up that criticality of that group. But when we are able to offer a customer that level of comfort, it is hard to be matched by any of the competitive landscape whatsoever, because you have so many smart people working together for your customers' singular or multifaceted issue, and we can address all that.
And for me, it's about risk mitigation. I mean, that's a huge portion of this. I mean, these are tried and true technologies. They're very comfortable with them. That's one of the things. Just the customer risk.
So we've been talking kind of on the front end, which is the making it, the installing it. Switching gears to the aftermarket side, which for those watching is the repair, service, kind of response side. How do y'all work in the aftermarket side of the process?
Yeah, well, from our standpoint, we want to make sure that we cover, you know, all the regions that Randy's mentioned, that we have a customer base. I mean, I like to look at it like we have responsibility of anything south of the stratosphere, you know, as far as what we need to worry about covering.
That's great.
So when we do that, we have our team set up, and what makes Fiber Glass Systems pretty unique is that all these incredible manufacturing resources that we have, whether it's in Qingdao, China, or Plymouth, or in Oman, or whatever. So we have service teams that are out of all those locations as well, plus outside of those locations too. So all of those service technicians have access to some of the resources that we mentioned earlier from a repair standpoint. Because, I mean, the number one thing that a customer has post-sale, post-installation is, what what happens if something goes a direction that's not anticipated, or we want to reconfigure something or change something. So we have so many resources that we're able to draw on, and so many relationships and partners as well, that we're able to respond to a customer's needs pretty much immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you mentioned a few more regions there. I know we've talked about the global presence. How global are we talking? Like what regions are y'all around in the world?
How global are we talking?
Yeah, how global are we talking?
Yeah, I mean, we're represented on every single continent. Manufacturing resources are strategically located.
Right.
We have other partners that we work with in regions outside of maybe our named NOV locations that supply supplemental resources for us too. So Asia, the UK, to partners throughout Europe. North American presence is second to none. Multiple manufacturing resources in Texas alone,
Right.
in order to be able to support what our customers need.
Yeah.
And really, same thing for the commercial aspect of it, and we work very collaboratively across all of those geographies.
Right.
Right.
Right. And I was just, I mean, since we were speaking about aftermarket, in that last question, I guess you had brought up, I just want to say, personally for me, I've met some of those aftermarket people who are either installing or going out for service and repair, and to see the level of commitment and knowledge that they have. And I remember one of them saying to me, like, I'm paraphrasing, but I remember that conversation of, look, it doesn't matter how good this product is if the installation or the service is not there to supplement that product. It could be seen as a failure in the customer's eyes. So to me, just hearing about the well-roundedness of the product offering and the service offering that NOV has, like, I don't know why people would go anywhere else, or like, it seems like you had mentioned, like, there's really no match for what we can offer a customer.
No, there's not, and credit to a lot of people before Randy and I's time, as well. I mean, this is a structure that we've been building up for years and years and years in order to be able to support our customer base.
Right.
And some of it's organic growth, and then a lot of it is actually at the direction of our customers. So when you are listening to what they say, where they want to be, where they want to operate,
Sure.
the type of projects they want to engage in, then we're listening and we're going to execute on that.
Yeah.
So we'll test a market. We're not afraid of emerging markets. We're not afraid of non-traditional opportunities, which is yet another one of thousands of reasons why we're able to do things differently than others in the space.
Right. Right.
And this might be my ignorance or my not knowing, but so I assume a lot of with what y'all do is, I think of cities, downtown, but are they also, is that also operations in like remote areas? I'm thinking like in the middle of nowhere, the desert. Are y'all kind of in both?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Short answer is yes.
It's an adventure.
Yeah.
Is a good way to look at it. So we have a high level of comfortability in some pretty unique situations. I mean, even these service technicians have worked in gas processing facilities in the middle of the desert, FPSOs offshore and throughout South America,
Right.
throughout the world, traditional oil and gas applications. On marine vessels. So what you're actually getting with our service technicians, and we certainly have specialists that are focused on WEFS, and that is historically where they have their knowledge at.
Right.
But with our group, we focus a lot of energy on cross-training. So that same technician that's out there, for your wet well, also has probably oil and gas experience, has some marine experience as well too. So the diversity in what their capabilities are is pretty extreme, and they're used to that remoteness, so they don't have any discomfort with any of that part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's light work.
Yeah.
So this might be a tough question because you just mentioned like the diversity of the customers, but if you had to kind of talk through that, what the relationship is like from, because we've talked about the front end, we've talked about the back end, but starting from the beginning, what is that relationship with your customers?
Yeah, I mean, we work, and kind of mentioned this a little bit, but since we have strong relationships internally with operations, engineering, and our sales team, so we're in lockstep with all of those individuals throughout the process. The customer is welcomed into that same group. So they have accessibility engineering, accessibility to operations, and we have regular and ongoing planning sessions with our sales teams from a project execution standpoint as well. So the customer is able to see that. So what they basically have at the end of the day is a continued research. The worst thing that can happen to somebody is that you buy something and somebody goes hands off, no matter what it is.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You're on your own.
Yeah. And
luck.
so we like when the competition does that, because we don't. You know, we're there along the way to support you throughout that entire process, through the whole life cycle of your product. And fortunately, since we manufacture such amazing things, there's not a lot to worry about on that front. But we're there if needed. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, last week was a great example of the project that we're going to be collaborating on very soon. Is there was a kickoff meeting. You know, you had the customer, their project management team. We had folks from operations, engineering, field service, and then our commercial folks were on site. So it was a team effort, multiple folks. So, and that's the way you ensure success.
Yeah.
You meet the customer's expectations, but you obviously, it's a team effort. And that's another example of answering your question.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about on the last episode, again, like a little bit about the WEFS mentality, and that was more on like the future side. But when we were talking about that customer centric focus, why is that so critical for y'all's business specifically?
Well, for us, it's the municipality, it's the infrastructure work that's there, and it's aging not only here but globally.
Sure.
Right.
There's certain demands and needs that they're always present there. You know, I view Chris and your team as an extension of what we do, and from a capability standpoint. But it's putting the customer first, and I think we do an excellent job as an organization doing that.
Yep. You can tell. I feel like you can like. I feel like that's very evident in
I feel
how you can feel how important it is to y'all.
Right.
Definitely. Well, thank y'all so much. I feel like we're fans of WEF, so this has been like a fan Q&A about like talking about y'all's team.
Well, Chris has got
thanks
an
for coming
opening.
in. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks.
All
for
right.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.